Okay, we are live. So good evening, everyone. Thank you for coming to the
All
health show
right.
today. This is me, your host, pharmacist Ezekiel, and with me is pharmacist Hope. Hope, can you please
Dr.
say hi
Hope
to the audience?
Onyechu.
Here? Okay,
Hi,
can you please say
everybody.
hi?
Good evening.
Okay, I don't know
Hi,
if you can
everybody. Good
reduce
evening.
the. Don't know if you can. Okay, okay. Thank you very much, Hope. Today we are going to talk about mental health and how it affects the student, like as a result of the ASUS, the current academic staff union strike. You understand? We need to have a discourse around it because I feel, or rather, we feel in the health show that not many discussion has been held around this topic. We only what is quite obvious is the academic impact of the strike on the student. No, less focus have been have been shown on the emotional and the mental health impact of the strike on the students, especially those um, basically all levels of students, but more on the final year students. So we're going to ask our host, our co-host here, pharmacist Hope, to give us a very basic definition of mental health. Hope. So Hope, can you give us a definition of mental health? Oh, we can't hear you. We can't hear you, pharmacist Hope. I don't know. Maybe you're muted or something.
Good evening once again, everybody. My name is
Okay.
Pharmacist Hope Onyemechi, and by God's grace, I'm going to be co-hosting this show with my colleague, Pharmacist Ezekiel. Now, when we talk about mental health, we're actually referring to both physical, emotional, as well as the psychological activities that affect our health, you get, which has to do
Okay.
with our well-being, anything that affects our mental
Okay.
well-being, which includes physical, psychological, and emotional states. They all constitute mental health.
Okay. So can you give that definition again?
Okay, I said mental health has to do with whatever constitutes our mental well-being, and it includes physical, psychological, and social well-being. They all make up mental
Okay.
health. When we talk about the three of them.
Okay. Okay. So now talking about the current academic staff union action on and the way it impacts the students. So what do you think? What ways do you think the current strike actually affects the students?
Okay, going by the definition I gave earlier, we can stress it further to say mental health also affects the way we think, the way we it's the way we act, the way we relate with others, and the way we even manage stress we get. So the
Okay.
strike has been on, if I'm correct, I think it started sometime in February. So and this
Yeah.
is already roughly 4 months. And let's be understand that there's actually a set that is even still in waiting. In addition to these current sets that are currently in school who
Yeah.
have been made to stay at home for about 4 months now. So, having been a student before, I can say boldly that it's not going to be an easy one for these people right now because I can remember back then when we were in school, we were forced on a over 8 month strike, and it wasn't really funny. It wasn't really funny because I can remember then it affected basically all the activities I had to do. As we speak, I can boldly say, I can make bold to say that there are some people who are currently at home and they are still confused as at this moment. Not only a few have been privileged to know that they have to take up the skill, only a few know that they have taken up the initiative to pick a skill or something that they know that they can at least keep themselves busy with. The majority of them actually still put their hopes in school because we live in a country whereby people actually believe that everything lies within education.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, even while that holds water, But in a way, we also have to understand that the dynamics of our dear country, Nigeria, is not changing towards, apart from the educational skills we've acquired, we also need some extra skills
Okay.
that will also push us forward, especially in times like this. Judging from the fact that you would agree with me that at this point, the authorities that are concerned don't seem, I may be wrong, in quotes, months of hardship. So,
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much for those comments, from Mrs. Hope. You see, um, um, the strike has actually thrown a lot of students off balance, and many authorities have blamed the strike on the increased rate of internet fraudsters and security challenges we have in the country. What do you have to say about that? Do you think the strike is an extension of the security challenges the current is currently facing right now?
okay, well, like it's rightly said, an idle man is the devil's workshop. You cannot separate being lazy from social vices. So, in a way, yes, I would say they relate. They could relate and they coexist naturally.
Okay. Okay. Now, is there a way, pharmacist, is there a way, the strike is linked to so many. I don't know if you can, I don't know if you can mute your mic. The place is quite noisy over there. So, for our audience, we want to sincerely apologize for our guests. Our guest has been greatly incommunicado this period, and we have been unable to reach out with him. So we're just trying to wrap up something for everyone that is listening, so that from Hope, can you mute your mic a little? Okay, so we have been trying to reach him, and there have been a lot of difficulties getting across to the SUG president of University of Benin. So we and from Hope, we are just trying to create something that's going to pass across as a working material of some sort. I don't know if you understand, a working material of some sort, so that those who watch this stream should be able to learn one of few things. So the ASUU strike began around February, but sometime early this year, and it has thrown a lot of students into disarray. So many of them do not really know how to or what to do, or how to handle the strike. Now, there is a job clause for those who search for job from home. People, most of the conditions they usually give, they'll mention something like um, a graduate, a graduate with with 12 months or 2 years experience, but below the age of 26. With this as a strike, do you think job seekers can actually see graduates like this anymore?
Okay, it's actually a funny one, I must say. I actually saw this
Yeah.
question coming.
All right.
Well, let's just say I've been caught in that same shoe before.
All right.
I can remember while I'm applying for some locum jobs as a student then, and I could see
Okay.
that they would always state it clearly that you must have at least 2 years experience as a pharmacist.
Okay.
And that 2 year
Okay.
experience will involve your internship program and your NYSC program. Now, bridging it
Okay.
back to these persons. And then, okay, let me go a bit further. Then I remember that whenever this thing is mentioned, I always felt disappointed because I always kept asking myself, the times I've spent in school, because our year was an abnormal one, our own set, in the sense that a course that was supposed to be 6 years, because of strike, both internal and external, both ASU and internal strike, we ended up spending 8 years for a singular
Wow.
course. Yes, eight
Wow.
years. I can remember it was that bad. Now I can remember vividly well that while they were saying it, I always kept mentioning that it is actually very unfortunate that a lot of people do not understand that not everybody that comes out as a graduate is actually a fresh student per se that just spent the exact number of years. Going by that calculation, the people currently in school now, some of them they also experience similar strike that I experienced, and some of them automatically have 1 year to themselves. Now this is another year about to roll down. In practical, you would say these people have gathered, that is if they really know what they are doing, though, they've gathered roughly 2 years experience, not academically this time around, but by experience. And that is why
Yeah.
when I was talking earlier, I stressed on the fact that this is a time for a call for everyone to be wise. That's the truth. You hear some
Yeah.
falling slang that people will always use and say, if school no work, Yahoo go work. But that is not the case for us who are educated. We're educated person, and as such, we should know at this point that beyond the educational qualification, there are some extra skills you should possess, which may even help in boosting your career as a professional in whatever field you are. Taking myself for example, I can remember in 2020 during the lockdown, while there was both a strike and a lockdown during 2020, I registered for some courses online. And I can
Okay.
remember it took a lot of pains for me to do somewhere in the UK, Pedestrian Academy, somewhere in even WHO. I volunteered as I registered as a volunteer for the COVID-19 protocols and training. I remember doing that. I also registered as a volunteer, even at UBTH and all that. All these things put together, they had a way of building me. And at the end of the day, most of these courses were certified. I can say boldly today, whenever I'm presenting my CV, I have about 14 international certificates to my name. Not
Oh.
because I actually physically went to those schools, but because I made the most of the time that I had, and that was
Yeah.
the strike time. Some
Yeah.
people right now, as we speak, have the opportunity to learn very skilled trainings that will change their life. Something as little as computer training, some people still do not value them as anything. I've heard somebody say, me come go dey learn computer, na yahoo boy I wan end up as. You necessarily, almost every job you are going to take up today, they always end up stressing the fact that you need a computer skill. That's why even JAMB has noticed this, and they've upgraded to CBT star, like we notice. Every
Yeah.
office now, even in the hospital where I work currently, they use everything is now computerized. The era of counting this, writing too, everything is computerized. You want to check for paracetamol, you have it in the system. You want to check for diclofenac, everything is there. Normal seller, you see everything is just for you to make the bill, send it to the account. The patient doesn't even get to see whatever you are doing. You just write it out for the patient, or you print it out. The patient goes to the cashier desk, the accountant banking or pays and comes back. And with that, you are sure that everything is organized. But then
Okay.
some people still do not see a need to do that. So if you ask me, I would say clearly, in clear terms, if one is looking for a job and experience would want to count, if I want to be fair, if I'm part of that recruitment team, I think beyond ASUU strike and beyond you saying you were on strike and all that, I think I also have to check what were the things that you used your this period to achieve.
Strike period. Okay. Okay.
Yes,
So you're
because it's
saying,
part.
okay,
Yeah.
you're saying most of the employers, most of the employees, or rather, or employers rather, they'll have to look at the gap years, those gap years, things you do during those gap periods, especially
Yes.
if the strike lasted for 8 months. What activities do you engage in for those 8 months?
Yes. Let me cite an
Okay.
example. By
Okay.
God's grace, being privileged to be the PRO of Young Pharmacists Group Edo State chapter,
Okay.
I can remember I'm privileged to have access to most vacancies and things that come up. And I can remember there was a time when there was an upsurge of students coming to my DM asking, I'm fam, please, are there pharmacists I can work as a locum pharmacist? I remember it. I had to take time to educate some of them what a locum pharmacist, who a locum pharmacist really is. You get, because you can imagine somebody in 200 level telling you he or she wants to work as a locum pharmacist, which is not what is obtainable. After doing that, and I told them, however, you can work as a volunteer, which is what I was doing before I became a registered and a licensed pharmacist. You get. So I educated them and I also gave them heads up. I know a few pharmacies that were willing to take up people as trainees. You get. They needed
Yeah.
people that would come learn, and some of them are kind enough at the end of the day to give stipends. But the narrative has changed these days. People always look at the big picture. What do I? People don't look at the big picture. They rather look at the immediate gratification. What do I stand to get right now? Okay, if
Yeah.
I'm going to volunteer for this person, how much? You can imagine a 200 level student sliding into my DM and asking me, and please, where do you know I can work that they will pay me well? I was like, work or you want to just volunteer to learn? He said, work. I was like, work. And after everything, I ended up advising and guiding the person in the parts that the person had to go. And at the end of the day, I sent a link to the person. I even had to make the call directly for the person to go for an interview. You had just one job. I had already done the underground job. What you just needed to do was get there, tell them your details, everything, so that it will corroborate with the details I've given them, and you
Yeah.
resume job. The person got there and the narrative became different. Started asking, how much are you people going to be paying me? Sef? I heard they're supposed to be paying me per hour. Wow, somebody in 200 level. Now, this is
Wow.
what you have on the streets right now. Most persons I've interacted with that have a chance of learning a skill. Some people don't even know what they have. They don't realize the benefits of what they have around them. There are places around. We always look at the bigger ones. We don't want to look at. There are places that you go to here in the hospital where I practice, Federal Teaching Hospital, Abakaliki. There is a student here in my unit, NHIS, that was attached directly under me. National Health Insurance Scheme Pharmacy. And what was his job? He's in 300 level. He's a pharmacy student. The mother just came and begged our HOU that, please, this is my son. I don't like the way he has been at home and all that. And he's always on his phone. He's always going out with friends that are not relevant to his career and his profession. I want him to be more productive. What do you suggest? And as a chief intern, I was asked. And after everything, I said, we have a lot of work here in NHIS. We need hands. And this is one place where this guy would learn. And he was attached directly under me. And I can beat my chest to say that guy started in April. There are some things that even some interns do not know yet that this young man knows. He
Okay.
understands not just how drug works, not just that is beyond telling somebody take 2 3 times a day. He understands how drug works and everything. And he now beyond that, he has gotten to a stage whereby he can never fall into one of the adverse effects of this strike, which is depression. I'm hoping we'll get to that stage very soon because I can remember during the COVID-19 period, I can remember almost falling into depression because I kept counting the years and there were some private schools that were still going on with their activities and inductions were going on. And I kept asking myself, like, Omo, this is me and this post started life before. And these are people that were my juniors and they're inducting already. Come on, my life is just hot for 1 year, one whole year. But at the end of the day, I discovered that it is what you make out of that 1 year that matters. I never realized, never did I imagine that I was going to achieve a lot of things like that. I even registered as a freelance writer, a trainee, and I was trained very well. And today, by God's grace, I can write very well and I have a lot of skills to myself that I can say kudos. If I tell people that I learned this thing under the ASUU strike, most of them are usually surprised. Somebody chatted me the day for example, was like, please, I hope can I get the link to those courses that time that you were doing? Most of them have even forgotten how I got the link. But whenever I saw an opportunity, I always registered. I was working both as a trainee pharmacist in a pharmacy, community pharmacy, and I was also doing those things, those online courses. And at the same time, I also registered as a graphic designer under somebody, and I was learning it. And today, I can combine all those things. These are opportunities that people have not discovered. People are just focusing on some. You see them, they'll say, I'm studying accounting. Anything I want to do, it has to be related to accounting. If it's not accounting, I'm not doing. You see some say, I'm studying pharmacy, I'm studying medicine. If I'm not doing anything that has to do with medicine, then it's off. That's not it. I think we should start extending our tentacles. The earlier we realize that a lot has been given to us, and to whom much is given, much is expected. I think the better we can do. It's for the
All
greater
right.
good of everyone.
All right. All right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mazloop. Now, just to wrap up for our audience, for those that have been with us, we sincerely apologize for. I don't know if you can mute your mic, from home. Okay, we sincerely apologize for the absence of our guest speaker. We're just trying to wrap up some information for every one of you that are listening currently. Okay, we will try to see if we can reschedule an appointment with a different guest speaker, so we can be able to, maybe someone directly related to student, maybe the vice chancellor. We'll see what we can do regarding that. So before we go, I just want to really know if there are any solution, pharmacist Hope, any solution do you think the students can that can help mitigate or reduce the effect of the mental health of this strike? So students in general. So what do you think can actually help them reduce the effects of this strike on them
Okay,
mentally? Yeah.
thank you very much. I was actually expecting this question, and I must say, first of all, I think three things we can do. The first of which is, I think I've learned that there are some battles you can't win alone. That's one
Yeah.
thing that I've learned. By God's grace, like I always say, I was once a student. It hasn't even been long. It was, I think, barely a year back from now. I was once a student. I'm not just a student. I was a student unions. Like I was a very proactive student. I was a faculty president, faculty of pharmacy president. And for those of us who are University of Benin students, and who understand how political our faculty is, and you know that. Um, Anybody that comes out there as a leader, an ESCO, is not in quotes an ordinary person. You must have gone through fire and gone through a lot of things. Now I can remember that there were some decisions that were made that didn't go to our favor, and I can remember how I handled them. Some were handled carefully and in the right way. Some I regretted the way I handled them. Even till today, when I look back, I can say I'm proud of how some of those things were handled. But in all, there's nothing stopping me from trying. I saw a post where they, just like they did 1 million march for the presidential aspirants P2B yesterday. Till now, I'm still asking myself, what is preventing students from doing even just a 100-man march? I think the unionism in students is beginning to die, and it's very sad though. I don't know if I'm supposed to be saying this here, but I think I just have to mention it. It's really, 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 really sad. Like I keep imagining, and I've kept asking myself, where are we getting it wrong? Because over the years, you see one set will do something, the next set will come and it will look as if it's worse.
Okay.
I would have imagined that by now, I'm just giving an excerpt. If anybody here listening to my voice knows me and was in school while I was in school, there was something I did as a faculty president. We were locked out of our classroom for over 3 months due to the faculty strike that was ongoing. Other faculties were receiving lectures. And I was just elected as president. People always remind me that the first task you had as a president was a looter. It was to cause an looter. But I was very proud of it because it was something that yielded fruit. We were locked out of our classroom, and what was the first thing I did? I just gathered all my students, explained to them how this strike was going to linger and how we were going to spend months for school fees that we've paid and all that. We've paid our fees. Come on, the least we deserve was to get lectures just like our colleagues. And after explaining, thank God I had like minds. And everybody bought the idea with the support of my schools and all my students, not all per se, but the larger majority. I think at the end we needed result. It was so bad that we ended up going to lock main gates. Anybody here will testify to what I'm saying. Now we locked the main gate until we insisted that we were going to see the VC, and the VC came out. We had a one-on-one chat. Even after that was done, and we still didn't get the result we wanted, we took it a step further. Anybody here listening to me will remember that if there's anything I'm remembered for, it's Oba Pikin that they used to call me. I think I was one of the faculty presidents that took Aluta to one extra mile by going to the Oba's palace. We went for a peaceful march to the Oba's palace. It was so bad and all that. And that period was a period when the Oba was not supposed to see visitors. I think there was an activity ongoing. But we broke the protocols because of how important it is to me. They say desperate times call for what? Desperate measures. We had to go
Desperate
there.
measures. Yeah.
And when we got there, it was difficult. I don't want to go into the details of how we got it, but it was difficult. But at the end of the day, we got the desired result. And we went back to our classroom with the influence of the Oba and the authorities. We had to contact someone. And at the end of the day, we went back to our classes. Now, the second thing I would want to also, so I've stated one now. I think students need to be more proactive because there's a way everybody will be quiet, and this strike can linger for 2 years. That's just the truth. Like I said before when I started, it's looking like the focus has shifted from education right now to some other activities, which I don't think is proper for me to mention here. You get, for security reasons, of
Yeah.
course. The
Yeah.
focus has shifted greatly and it's very bad. Now, the second thing I would want to advise is that as much as we can, I'm saying we because even me inclusive, a strike can happen for health workers. What do I do? That's also a setback for me because without completing my internship program, like, there's no way I can move forward from here. Get, it's a step by step process. So in such times, always prepare for a backup. I think these two series of strike that we've had for the past 2 years, if some people have not learned lesson, anybody that has not learned lesson, his or her lesson, I think the person is still dreaming. By now, you ought to have learned serious lessons that always have backup. I resumed work here at FETA to learn that you should always have a backup for everything that you do, even as a health worker. You should always have a backup. What if a strike comes up? Where do you fall back to? And it results to something that will withhold your salary. These are little things that, as Nigerians, we take for granted. And that is why I'm going back to the third one, which is one thing I mentioned before. Please have a skill as a backup. Have a skill as a backup. I expect that after this show, beyond everything we said, if you didn't pick anything from here, go online, type, browse courses, browse programs that you want to learn. You have an interest in technology, in tech skills. There are tech programs going on. Some you have to pay tokens, some are free. Some are free, for crying out loud. I have a friend that would train people, not free though, but for a token. And at the end, you'll be a guru. He's a guru in tech. I have
Wow.
some other people that do little things like graphic design that can take people through classes. Personally, I can take that pain to do that, but for the sake of time. I have people that can take people in catering. I mean, come on, what's there to be ashamed about? I've heard somebody say, me, after studying medicine, I can't go to learn how to cook. Like, it's a very foolish thing. Forgetting that one of your primary job as a wife is even to cook. I don't know if you get. So these are
Yeah.
things, if you look at them, they are centered around your everyday life. So what difference does it make? So you should also, while you are also trying your best to be the best in your professional circle, your professional um space, I think you should also strive to be. There's an adage my dad always tells me that beyond everything you are doing, what makes you extraordinary? Yes, you are a pharmacist, Ezekiel is a pharmacist, so many other people listening to me on this program, they are pharmacists. But what is that thing that when they mention, when you 10 of you go for an interview, they'll say, no, 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 this one just separate him from others. I don't know what your skills are, but I think I found mine. And some people will say I like to talk. I'm an orator. I think if there's anything I enjoy, that's one of it. And I'm hoping
Okay.
that someday, just like I go down the rest, my talks will bring money for me. So that's another one. Then
All right. All
finally,
right. Yeah.
finally, I think what we can do is to be prayerful. The Bible has made us understand that the heart of a king lies in the hands of God. As a nation, we must not remove that part because there is one thing that we have failed as a nation: the young persons. I think we have sold our futures too much. With all this strike and everything, please, I am saying this with all sincerity and boldness. If I want to do a sample now and find out how many people have really gotten their PVC, I'm very sure Dr. Ezekiel will be disappointed if we do a census right now.
Yeah.
I can boldly say that 70% of our youths are even yet to get their PVC. Some people still do not think there's a need to get that. I think every
Yeah. Yeah.
giant step begins with a stride. Every it begins with just one step that you throw. We show that you're a serious person. Yes, we keep shouting, this
Yeah.
person is corrupt, this one did not do this one, this one. How many youths are vying for House of Assembly positions? Let me not even go far. Down to school, how many people have the willingness to serve? How many people want to be class reps? I can remember a time in school when it looked as if any position they just call, you will have to beg people to go for it. You talk about Congress, sometimes mentality should die. Mentality of how much they go give me, they go share money for them. I think that mentality should die. Then secondly,
Yeah.
I think we should be more proactive when it comes to the political space. Even though you are not contesting, please always, your phones, what do you use them? Always know what is happening. I belong to several groups, and one of them is one of the aspirants, Peter Obi. Even while I don't know so much about him, but with this period I've been in that group, I've learned a lot. I've known, I might not know what A fully is, but I've known that B is definitely not A. Do you get?
Yeah.
So let
Yeah.
us be more proactive in those spaces. Then lastly, please, as much as you can, if you find an opportunity, please involve yourself. I'm looking forward. Here in Ebonyi State, I have a friend that is running for House of Assembly, and he has my full support and that of our other colleagues. And trust me, the primaries were held yesterday, and it was to his favor. I was very happy. That's a step already. If we can have that in 7 or 8 states at least to begin with, out of 36, that's a plus. These are where decisions are made. These are where bylaws are passed. These are
Yeah.
where little things like bills like of ASUU and others they pass through. If you cannot be there, how do you want, or you don't have someone there, how do you want your voices to be heard? We keep crying that leaders have failed us, we do this and they didn't do this, they didn't do that. How many have you thought of correcting? How many people are willing to take that step to offer themselves and say, let me go? For me, if an opportunity presents you, I'll definitely go. That's the truth.
Okay.
And I expect
So
that every one of us should have same mindset.
yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much, pharmacist. Hope you poured out your heart. I learned a lot. If I had not done my PVC, maybe I would go do another PVC because this your speech is it's quite motivating. All right. So if you are listening and you've not subscribed to the Health Show channel, kindly subscribe. Click the subscribe button and then turn on the notification bell so that when we have our live sessions, you can get your notification to see who we have on air. Next Sunday we'll be having another live stream by 7 p.m. You can come on here maybe from Wednesday or Thursdays to see the personality we're inviting, but something very interesting. So you don't want to miss that. All right. Pharmacist Hope, thank you very much. The things you listed were, you said have a plan B. You're telling the students to have a plan B. So as soon as you get admission, it is not just about the school. It is about how are you going to function after you leave school or while you are in school. I remember while I was in school, I ventured into writing. I did a lot of writings. I volunteered for several newspapers. All this were free without any salary. And if our young people today can learn the act of volunteering, and I believe um, it will pay them off. It will pay them off big time if you can learn the art of volunteering, so that you should be able to give yourself a better advantage over your colleagues when you graduate from school. So that is that for that. We want to wrap it up now. I don't know if I hope you have any. Okay, we have one comment from one of our viewers. The person is saying, "Famu, can you see that? It says salary is key." I guess this. I guess this comment came when you were talking about volunteering and volunteering without money. This person is quite funny. Salary is key. Famu, hope we can hear you. I think your mute is on. Hello, Famu. Okay, I think you turned off your audio. Let me see if I can turn it on from here. Okay, I can't. You just have to turn it on there. All right. We lost from hope. So thank you very much, everyone, for staying tuned. Thank you. We really appreciate your time. We're going to be here same time, same next week. How did they usually say it? Same time, same station next week. All right. Bye bye.